Hi everyone, welcome to the channel dedicated to sharing the profound insights and wisdom of Andromedan contactee Alex Collier. If you're new here, you're in for a journey that expands your mind and consciousness, bringing you closer to understanding the messages from the fifth density Andromedan extraterrestrials. For those returning, we're grateful for your continued support. Before we dive into today's enlightening content, we have a small favor to ask. If you find value in the knowledge shared in this video, please consider hitting that like button, subscribing to our channel, and clicking the bell icon so you never miss an update. Your engagement helps us amplify Alex Collier's message, allowing us to reach a larger audience with these vital messages. We'd also love to hear from you, so please engage with the comments below. Whether it's a question, your thoughts, or even just an emoji for the sake of engagement, every comment counts. We read every single comment, and your feedback is incredibly valuable to us, as it all contributes to our mission of expanding this community. So please don't hesitate to leave your thoughts below. Additionally, if you'd like to support us further, consider giving a super thanks tip by clicking the heart with the $sign. This small gesture allows us to continue bringing you more of Alex's messages, unfiltered and directly from his lifelong experiences with the Andromedans. Today's video includes a compilation of several of the many important questions Alex Collier has received over the past few years, so please sit back, relax, and enjoy today's video.
Could you give what you know regarding CERN and the interdimensional entities they're contacting?
I have no updates whatsoever on that. It's interesting how quiet everything's become about CERN. I'm not sure what's going on with that. The last time I heard anything, which I've shared with you, was that they were trying to open up portals to Saturn. And they were being shut down. It was being closed off. So I don't know. That was something that Carol from LA. I enjoy your emails, Carol. And this is about a ship, a starship, a very large one, planet size, that's following Mercury around. Well, apparently there are people who have it in their head that that's Lucifer. That's Lucifer in that starship, and he's getting ready to come back. Now, I'm not quite sure how to say this, but my understanding was that Lucifer, at least that's what we're taught, was an angel created by God, not one of the lower gods, but the God, the creator of the universe. So my question is, what would Lucifer need with a starship? Number one. Doesn't make sense that he'd need a starship. Number two, 1958 to 1962, at the Second Ecumenical Council in Rome, the church admitted to creating the devil, the myth of the devil. They admitted to doing this. And I find it fascinating that everyone has just ignored that fact and has continued to propagate this story to the point where they create devil worshippers and all this stuff. So let's just assume for a second that the devil isn't real. That means all this shit that's being done in the name of the devil worshiping, sacrifice, satanic worship, all this stuff, that's on you that are doing this. That's all on you. You've all created this horrible reality, believing that it was real. And this comes back to the church. They got a lot to answer for. They really, really do. They have a lot to answer for. And that's another subject which we will definitely be going into at some point. Okay. That's all I got on that.
Talking about the New World Order, everyone talks about the European royalty, but where does the Saudi royal family fit into all of this? Are they all the same bloodline, or are they just using their resources to their advantage?
I don't know necessarily that the Saudis, well, what is a royal line? Are we talking a royal bloodline that's connected to Nibiru, to the Anunnaki, to the Pleiadians, to Andromeda, to the reptilians? What are we talking about? What makes that royal? The fact that they have ET blood? Because I got a news flash for you. Every one of us does, which is why the A's consider us, all of us, royalty. So what does that mean exactly? In my humble opinion, when we talk about the royal families, what we're talking about are those who have created an economic privilege over the rest of humanity and have declared themselves kings and queens. Is it something that they actually deserve? Do they actually have a right to rule over other people? I'm an American. And that is not an idea that would ever fly here. Do I think they always make the best decisions? Hell no. Do I think every one of those royal kings and queens and princes in the past, going all the way back to Egypt, have all been benevolent? Hell no. Have some of them been okay? I'm sure there have been. Do we actually hear about them? Probably not, because you got to remember, history on this planet, the victor of the war, the conqueror, always rewrites history. Okay, you got to remember that. We haven't been given the truth about our history on this planet. We have slices that only those slices they want us to know about, that fits their narrative. They've been hiding most of everything of who and what we are and our actual roots and our actual genuine history. And they've done very, very well at covering it up. And if anybody tries to go there, they have the religions, the Catholicisms, to attack the messengers, to make sure that they crawl back into their studies and never stick their head out again, because they're sinners, they're liars, they're Luciferians, they're all kinds of things for some of those truth tellers. Now, I'm not saying there aren't Luciferians and Satanists and people who do that dark shit. That's not my point. My point is, we are using a language, we are using historical narratives and descriptors that genuinely no longer apply. Okay? What makes a royal a royal? Okay, a bloodline? A bloodline to who? A bloodline to what? Okay? If the A's are right, and we all have royalty, and we all are royalty, then I don't need a king or queen to tell me what to do, to take over my property, to tax me to death. I don't need any of that. Okay? And I certainly don't need a government to do that either. What I do need is a responsible government servant representative to implement and to hear my concerns and implement the will of the people for the betterment of the people. That's what we lead, and that's what we've lost touch with. I think today when people say royal, I honestly, I don't think it's appropriate today. I think the citizenry, the will of the people, the knowledge of the people, the experience of the people, needs to always be front and center, and it's not. Are we evolved enough to completely be on our own? I'm not sure yet. Are we evolved enough to live without a currency where everybody instinctively and intuitively will want, moved by compassion and compelled to assist humanity in any way they can using their skills? Would they do that for free if they were guaranteed residence, lodging, and safety, food? Would they do that? I don't know that either. You have to understand that we have been programmed and conditioned to be in fear, to surrender our free will, and our rights and our personal dignity for thousands of years. That's the only way we know how to live. How many years will it take for us to turn that around and to embrace a new way of living and thinking about ourselves and our approach to managing our civilization in the world? It may take a couple hundred years. I don't know. But I think about those things. I think about those things all the time. So, did I just leave the reservation again?
Just taking a little wonder. So, yeah, Saudi royal families, where do they all fit in?
Sorry, I'm very chatty today. Okay.
Have you had a lot of coffee or something?
I took a ginseng.
Oh, wow.
I needed some extra oomph today. So I took some.
That sounds like a good idea.
Ayurvedic ginseng. Ashkanawanda, I think it's called. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it's made me very chatty.
What can we expect after the reset happens if you don't have any other reset currency? And is it too late to buy Zim at this point?
I don't know. You'd have to find out. You'd have to contact a currency seller. I wouldn't buy it off eBay. But there are people that sell currency, that exchange currency. I think you can still buy dinar. I know you can still buy some dong. The whole point of this is, well, it's actually twofold. When this shift occurs, two things are supposed to happen. One, this will break the banks of the central bank's control over all of the world's currencies. Isn't it interesting that the net global debt of the world is somewhere set around $430 trillion? And the actual wealth of the Rothschild banking family is 500 trillion. Isn't that interesting? And there are other families that have been involved in this. But I mean, where on this planet do you spend $500 trillion? What could you buy for $500 trillion? Okay? And yet the world is struggling. Countries are near in a position where they will not exist 4 to 5 years from now because of all this debt. And they sit back and they allow this suffering to happen. I cannot wrap my head around it. So it's obvious that they have to be taken out of the equation. No compassion, no mercy. You have to remove them from the equation, and whatever that looks like, and start something different. And you have to create a new group of patrons who have wealth that will put the money back into civilization, into humanity, to make humanity better. And I think that's ultimately the goal here, is you create a new upper class that genuinely cares about humanity. Because this bunch we have now, obviously they don't give a shit. They don't. They have everything and they want more. And they don't care what they do to get it. They don't care how much suffering there is. They really don't. So that's the shift. Okay. Monies go into huge monies, ridiculous amounts of money go into humanitarian programs that will help and benefit all of humanity. And that's the way it's supposed to be. It may be 6 months before they actually tell everybody that this has occurred, if they even do it. It'll be a slow transition, but what everybody will see, bless me, is that as these programs are implemented, student loans will be paid for, mortgages will be paid for, there'll be no debts, people's debtness will be forgiven, and everyone will be given a chance to start over, because it's not about profit. Okay, and that's all that this structure we've been living under is about. That's all it's been about, is about profit, profiting off the suffering of humanity. We have got to change that way of thinking, or we're not going anywhere. And I think that the White Hats, the space program, those people who are interacting with benevolence, I think they're getting the message and they're trying to implement this. But you just can't turn humanity around on a dime. It's like a huge 18-wheeler, okay, with an extra trailer. It takes a while to make the turn. And that's what we're doing. We're just beginning to make the turn. And but first we have to dust the parasites off. We have to get them off the back of humanity, because they have sucked the lifeblood out of us to no end, and with no end in sight. So that has to be dealt with. That's how I see this. And the reason this is happening is because the dark side is no longer in control. All right? And you should all be very, very encouraged by that. Even though you think nothing's happening because you don't hear anything about it in the press, understand they're controlling the narrative. Okay, and if you are watching the narrative, you can see that their hysteria is getting worse and worse and worse. That's a positive sign. That means they are losing control of the minds of the people. That's why they're becoming more and more hysterical and extreme. And when this is all said and over with, we're going to have to put them all in a nut house, because that's where they belong, with the shit they pulled.
Gravity. Is our planet relatively gravitas? Is our planet relatively strong in its gravitational field? You were talking about gravity. Can you talk a little more about gravity and what it really is? With levity.
Gravity. Gravity, as I understand it, is the creation of sunlight as it penetrates through material matter, such as the Earth, and it breaks down into protons, electrons, etc., creates a gravitational field. And the larger the hollowness of a planet, the greater the gravitational field. If you have an absolute solid structure like a single rock moon, the gravitational field will be very weak, because what's happening is there's no building up of inside of the planet the field of protons and electrons and other things as they break down. I don't have those notes directly in front of me, and it's been many, many years since someone's even asked me this question. But as they break down, they create a field, which is gravity. It isn't the turning of the planet, although that helps. Okay, the Earth's gravitational field is fluctuating. It is moving, and that's because there are other starships and planetary objects in our solar system that are doing this. Now, this isn't just the Earth. This is happening to Venus. This is happening to Mercury. This is happening to Mars. They just don't want you to know. Okay? Even our moon. Have you noticed where our moon sets and rises is different than where it used to be? Have you also noticed that the stations of the light and the dark moon have also changed their position on how the light shines on the moon and the darkness descends on the moon? That's also changed. That's because there are things around us that they don't want us to see. The magnetic north is moving. We've talked about this in previous webinars. I told you what they were going to do so that we wouldn't experience a horrific pole shift, but something that was very slow to roll, okay, so that the oceans would not have to leave their basins completely, because that would be an absolute disaster and humanity doesn't deserve that. As long as humanity continues to move forward to awaken, we're going to get incredible support. There's no reason to start over and wipe everything out like that has been done in the past. Okay? We have value. So as far as gravity, the Earth is going through changes. So are we. Mentally, spiritually, physically, we're all going through changes. What that looks like 5-10 years down the road, I'm not exactly sure. I'm just trying to stay focused in the moment and do the very best I can every single day with myself and my relationships and those people that I interact with during the day, is to just be the best version of myself at all times. And I like that work. I do. I like that work. It's very rewarding for me at night when I put my head on my pillow, that I know that, today I was the best version of me that I could be today. Gravity is also created by intent. When you think of something, when you think of an idea, when you intend to want something, you immediately create a field, a quantum field, and you tell the universe, I want this. This has been proven in a lab, by the way, several labs around the world, that I want this. And what happens is that intention creates a field of physicality that begins to manifest. And as long as you continue to will it and to focus on it and to see it, it will at some point manifest for you in your life. It's real. It's absolutely real. I mean, look at this planet. Okay, we're the ones manifesting this every day. We are. You want global warming? Continue to believe all the bullshit they're telling you. Okay, continue to believe that there is global warming. And you know what? We're going to create global warming. because that's what our thoughts does. That's why they want to control the narrative, okay? Because we're creators. You are a creator. You, with your intent, create a gravitational field to create what it is that you want. You just have to hold the focus till it gets here. This is not rocket science. This is what quantum physics and quantum mechanics are teaching us. Okay? We want this to be a paradise. We need to start seeing it as a paradise. We need to start believing that it's a paradise, not all this other horseshit that they're telling us about. It's really that simple. It's just incredibly hard to get everybody to believe it because they're so used to living in the box. This box, okay? Reality can only be in this box. Nothing else is possible. Just this. I mean, that's why when I used the analogy earlier of an 18-wheeler with an extra trailer, it's taking some time to make the turn. You can't turn on a dime. That's all I got. That's all I got. I may or may not have answered your question, but that's all I got.
Are the benevolent helpers as well as regressive opponents doing time travel to affect the outcome of Earth's destiny? If so, wouldn't this be an forever ongoing conflict? How does it end?
Okay. 28 years ago, one of the first things I told everybody was that the A's had come back in time with other groups to right a terrible wrong. So everything that we see now and experience is an artifact. I want you to understand that. Everything we are experiencing now is an historical artifact. I want you to sit and think with that for a while after the webinar today. Okay? You are literally living in history or reliving history. And no, is this an ongoing progress? There is apparently a point in the future, not too distant future, where this recorrection of our artifact falls completely in line with the intentional movement of the universe, of the galaxy. With the galaxy. Okay, it pulls into a perfect line, and all they have to do is bridge this timeline to the intention of the galaxy. And that's what I've told is all that has to happen. But we have to take it from here to there, and we're getting a lot of help. But the reality is, we still, in order to make sure that this bridging of the timeline happens, is we have to step into our power. We have to become advanced human beings, advanced soul-wise, with wisdom. We have to drop the idea that we're all divided. Okay? That we share a unity, a spiritual heart that creates great change in the future in our galaxy. You have to ask yourself this question. The other civilizations that didn't make it, is it because they weren't capable of or they weren't going to contribute to anything very significant at all, and therefore they were allowed to go their way? Did they get the same amount of intervention that we are? And the answer to that question is no, they did not. Now you have to ask yourself, why is it that we're getting so much attention? Why is it that we're getting so much assistance where others did not? There is something to us. We have a value that is so unique that star nations in 4th, 3rd, and 5th would want to participate in making sure that we get back on this path, that it completes, it does something to shift our galaxy in a way that benefits the entire galaxy, regardless of the dimensional life. Just sit with that. That's huge, in my opinion. That is absolutely huge. You know? We're a very different bunch here. We're a very different bunch. Okay? Which is why they're terrified we're going to figure out who we are, the dark side. You know, that's why they're fighting tooth and nail to make sure we don't wake up. You know, because we're going to be a handful. We're going to be a handful.
Thank you so much for watching today's video. If you found it insightful, please like the video, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel and click the bell icon so you don't miss out on future updates. If you have any questions relating to today's video, please also leave them below. We read all the comments and take on board what our viewers have to say about Alex Collier's work. Remember, your support helps Alex Collier's knowledge and the messages from the Andromedans reach more people. If you'd like to support the channel even more, you can give us a super thanks tip by clicking the heart icon with a $sign. It really helps our team bring you more content. Also, be sure to visit alexcollier.org to sign up for our regular email newsletter. It's the best way to stay updated with the latest news, exclusive content, and upcoming live webinars. For the latest insights from Alex Collier, check out alexcollier.live. And if you want to explore over 250 past webinars, head over to alexcollier.tv. Thank you for being a part of this journey and supporting Alex Collier's work. We couldn't do this without you, and we're genuinely grateful for your support. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring the vast mysteries of our universe. If you would like to see the Andromedan contactee Alex Collier live via video stream, we hold a live online seminar every Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. For more information on upcoming live webinars, please visit alexcollier.org.